All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. So we have an interesting situation on our hands. Our turnaround point is 17,431, kept going, and we have a pretty big, what looks to be a topping candle being put in place on the 2-hour time frame. We'll see if we're actually going to top out or not. Doesn't feel like we're going to. Actually feels like we're going to do the opposite of that, and we're probably just going to keep on keeping on. But what's up, guys? Aram, Monkey Tron, Mike. Doing a public power hour today, ladies and gentlemen. Figure 20K is a good day as any to try to catch it live. And if it continues going on later today, you'll probably see me live again here today. Pretty cool day, I gotta say. You know, we stalled out here about a week ago. Correction, apparently due to some GBTC selling, which, you know, is what it is, I guess. And then yeah, off to the races we go. Another new recent high for the year. And I think an all-time high for Bitcoin, at least on Binance it is. I was looking at Binance's Twitter a little bit earlier, and yeah, it was an all-time high. All-time high on Binance. So, hey, what's up, Aram? Yeah, you're welcome. What about Bitcoin Cash? Why it's not moving? I don't know why. A lot of times we don't get to know why, Aram. My theory is that it's been split with BSV, and it's just generally a little bit more weak than it used to be, being kind of the only alternative to BTC other than all the other alternatives to BTC. More power. That's right. Absolutely more power. All right, guys. So this is a live power hour. Morning, Bob. So this is the show that I do every single day. And if you guys are interested in the power hour, please go to my website, real-crypto.com, and you can check it out there. What's up, Zane? Went over the previous high would be safe to buy on a run on BTC, Zane? What prior high are you referring to? And on what coin? I'm assuming Bitcoin, but on Bitcoin? Okay. Well, we had a pullback here a little bit, 19,450. Yeah, see, that's a really, really big, well, it's actually not even that big of a picture. So when you keep in mind the actual BTC high over here is whatever it is. I mean, we're poking at it. You're really nitpicking up here, which doesn't make any sense. You don't have to nitpick that close. 19. So since we don't have to nitpick that close, I'm going to write it down. 19,798. This is on Binance, mind you. 19,798. So obviously we've already exceeded that, right? So we've already exceeded that. Now, going back to those candles, I mean, your highs aren't that much different. Your high on this one is 19,484. So that's essentially $500, which is not really that much from a percentage perspective. So, I mean, you know, going back a few years and then today, you know, it's just a little nick over there, doesn't matter. Your best buy recently was in my opinion, our recent alert of 17,431. Once it broke that, we kind of confirmed a reversal. Even better buy was just listen to Mike the other day when he bought it at the low of the day over there. That would have been the best buy. But if you look at this general trajectory of BTC, we have upward trending volume, which is good. We have volume aggregation tool, which is also trending up. The sellers are stepping in a little bit up here as we hit to 20K. But if you remember, we've actually blown through quite a few what should have been key levels. We blew through 14K with no problem. You know, basically we chopped around it for a very short period of time, no major drops whatsoever, and then we followed through that, and now we're up at 20K. We had the 6K drop right here, which a lot of people, myself included, thought we would see some resistance. We saw none. We saw zero resistance. There wasn't even a bobble. I mean, I'm sure if I went to the 1 minute candle, I'm sure there was some. Yeah, there's a little bit right there, but just the close from one day to the next, and then boom, straight through. So really no issues on that one. And so now we're at 20K. Are we gonna see some bobble up here? Well, we saw a little bit with that 10% that we just had, but in the bigger picture, holding supportive lines. And I mean, everything's doing good so far. We're not backing away from the 20K level. Could we back away at some point? Yes. But if you go to the shorter term time frame, we're not. This is the 2 hour. You can argue, you know, go to the 15-minute, whatever time frame you want to go to. Hey, what's up, Jay? Yeah, it's a public power hour, Jay. I did a public show today just because it's 20K, you know, trying to help people out and stuff. And it is a little promotion, but that's not why I do it. So yeah, I mean, we did have some distribution here, a little bobble, but this isn't that much. But this isn't that much selling pressure up here right towards 20K. So I'm not mad at it. I mean, you look at it, you have this, you got a little bit here, you're buying and selling. My volume aggregation tool are good. Buyers still firmly in control. And if we see some elevated volume to the upside, you'll see this thing at 21 quick, super quick. Number one, because that's going to get rid of a lot of that selling pressure. And I know 21 sounds like a lot, but keep in mind, it's going to be 21. Okay, so my brain's not working right here. So that's only like 5%. It's not even a big move. It's now for the day it would be pretty big since we're only at 7.6. It would likely be, you know, 16, 17% day or something like that. But, or well, actually, again, me not doing math. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. It would essentially be a pretty big day. Yeah, about 15%. Hey, what's up, Doral? So if we get that today, if not, we may get there tomorrow, may get there the next day. We've been floating up recently. And that's all she wrote, guys. I mean, it's not really a new day, but it kind of is. And it's nice to see it. Nice to see it up here. It's nice to see that we're stable. Ever since we broke kind of 12K was one of our, I've got 14K highlighted here, but really 12K, this last base right here, we've been relatively stable. So really just no issues. You had that base right there. You even had this base over here, multiple touches, undercut, and then off we go. So I don't see any changing to this trajectory right now. Elevated volumes on the daily time frame, regardless of this little bobble here. All trends are still intact. No exit signals, so therefore there's no exiting. What about the altcoins, Aram? Well, we've seen in this cycle since the 12K, most of the time you'd have an altcoin run, which runs really good, and then it'll end up getting sold off in BTC. XRP has been a little bit of a the exception to that rule. XRP has been holding up pretty good. Litecoin's doing okay. One thing we can do, let me write this down. We'll do a top 20. We'll do top 20 versus BTC. And we'll do that later. So, all right. So that's Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin's doing fine. I don't think any major issues here as of yet. We don't see any extraordinarily high selling pressure. Just some normal stuff at a very obvious high. I mean, everybody is looking at Bitcoin. So some selling pressure up here is completely normal, and we didn't even have that much. The only big full red candles you can put together right here have some of the lower volumes that we've seen in this area. So I'm not really mad at Bitcoin right now. We probably won't get a 20K during the show the way it's looking like. We're kind of just stalling a little bit, but we're going to put in a consolidation. So maybe we'll get it later today or tomorrow. And I'll see if I can be live for that. All right, let's go back down the top 20, guys. First up is Ethereum. Let me reset my charts to kind of more normal stuff. Get off on the 15-minute. All right, and so for those of you watching, I'm going to go through our normal routine. We do the top 20 by market cap versus US dollars to keep everything on an even keel. And then I go through Binance US pairs and then BTC pairs on Binance and just kind of point out everything that looks interesting, good, potentially bottoming. And there's not too many altcoins today, but BTC 14K after DC buys. That's true. Make sure he doesn't buy. Keep him out. Show him a fake chart, okay? Just show him a fake chart. That'll work. Hack his trading view. All right, so Ethereum up here, breaking the low here, 532.55. We did just have some pretty big selling on Ethereum, but it's not backing away, so no major issue there. Zane DC is some guy in the Slack chat room. Yeah, and his name in Slack is DC, so that's who DC is. But I mean, really good on the daily time frame here. ETH is looking great. It's in a big uptrend. The trajectory is amazing, and I'm not mad at it at all. We came back and hit our trend line, adjusted our trend line a little bit, but that's fine. and then up we go right here. I think Ethereum's going to keep going. I don't know if it's going to alternate with BTC, but Bitcoin's up 7, ETH's up 5. I mean, it can get going. It may go up more than Bitcoin on some days, less than Bitcoin on some other days, but it's doing really good right here. No issues. We don't really have a great alert. Let's do one at 620.68. We do have alerts in the power hour, guys. If Paul's here, thank Paul. Everyone say hi to Paul if he is here. So 620.68, we do alert in the power hour. It is through our Slack chat room. But you can obviously add that on your own platform if you want to. So 620.68, that's going to be your breakout here for Ethereum. Obviously higher volume. We'll see if we form some type of a handle or not. It's hard to know exactly when that's going to happen and when it's just going to break through. The way Ethereum is moving, it could just break through it and not form a handle and just be a cup. And then that would be your technical buy point. So we have our early buy point. Now we have our technical buy point. And we'll see what's what. All right, next up is XRP. So XRP broke above our 65,173 alert and just had a nice selling candle, at least on Binance, but it looks like we're bouncing back. Is that, where's that 65,173? Okay, it is right there, horizontal, gotcha. Gotcha. Hey, what's up, Paul? Everyone say hi to Paul. What's up, Fambe? How you doing, buddy? Long time no see. All right, so XRP tried to break above the 65,173. Pretty big selling candle right there. XRP, we mentioned yesterday, is pretty famous for having these huge rallies and then not following through. So big rally here. We've given it every opportunity to follow through. It failed here. I think we had, I'm not sure if we had an alert here. I don't remember. But we did have an alert here, and we're failing to follow through right now. It looks like all the volume, they're coming to the sell side. Hopefully that can be overcome. We did not make a new low, and so that is good for XRP. If you like it, you can take it with probably a stop pretty tight at the 162 maybe, if you want to be really, really tight about it. Because if BTC starts going, you never quite know what's going to happen with XRP. You just saw a bunch of selling step in, but if Bitcoin's going to stagnate, then maybe you'll see these alts start to go up today. Litecoin's already up 10%. Oh, that's nice. That's super, super nice. Richard, I'm not really an Elliott waves guy. So I don't know about that. There's, a lot of different ways you can interpret Elliott waves, and that has not been how I've found my edge in the market. I have, if you have a chart or something that I can look at, I'd be more than happy to review it with what I do know about Elliott waves, but I don't practice it, but I'm knowledgeable in it. But I haven't, everyone's going to draw it differently. I don't know what they're drawing Elliott waves in terms of, and I'm not even sure what pairing you're discussing, Richard. So if you guys are going to make a comment, try to put a pairing down. Sometimes I move fairly quickly, and it's hard to get context to the comments. All right, so XRP, maybe trying to break up here if you're a really big XRP fan, but historically this doesn't follow through. At the same time, we're definitely in a super bullish situation overall in the market, so I wouldn't put it past XRP to continue here, which is why we continue to follow it. I'm not sure about the CME gap. I don't know. We may or may not get filled on that one. Well, you're here now, Famba. This is when we do it. This is when we do the show. So apparently you're here. You have some time. Yeah, if you guys, the power hour is, I have a routine I go through, but the power hour is really meant for you guys. Okay, it's not meant for me just to talk weirdness and you to listen to me speak. If you guys, come to the power hour with an agenda, something you want to learn, something that you want, we will accommodate that. There's no issue with that. So if you want something, and I know a lot of services you can go to and you just sign up and they just throw stuff at you. I really tried to not be that service. I really try to be the service that you guys need, whatever it is. But a lot of people don't speak up, unfortunately, and so I think some people feel like they don't get what they need. But you have to ask. I don't know what everybody needs. Anyways, all right. So XRP here rallying, starting to rally through a little bit. I think this has a possibility to continue, but right now, most everything is predicated based on what Bitcoin's doing. It's stagnant right now, so you're seeing some coins starting to pop out. They were popping out earlier too. They were already starting to pop out, and then Bitcoin started going, and then everyone said, "Ooh, Bitcoin," and then just dropped everything else. All right, next up is Bitcoin Cash. Someone mentioned Bitcoin Cash not being its old Bitcoin Cash, and I agree with that. But we are getting some good movements here. Volume signature is a little bit wonky. We did come out of the lows. We had this in a larger consolidation box down here. It failed up here. Now it's trying again. Hopefully this is what keeps Bitcoin Cash up. We're all looking for the Bitcoin Cash of old with 20 to 40% days. We haven't quite seen that out of Bitcoin Cash, but the volatility is definitely here. Rallying through from our 2060, getting up 42%, dropping that entire amount, and then coming right back. So the volatility is coming back in Bitcoin Cash, but you really got to be on your toes with this one. Holding this thing is fairly difficult. Yeah, hit the like button. Thanks, I forgot about that. I'm not a good marketer, guys. I'm a trader. I'm not a marketer. I always forget that stuff. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, but you probably already are, and all that good stuff. All right, next up is Cardano. Cardano been one we've been looking to take leadership, and it's doing a pretty decent job of it. So we broke out from our 11,383. We came down and hit our 11,383 and right back up. Yet to break this 17,183 and follow through. Looks like it wants to start doing that. We have a similar stalling candle we just saw in XRP a moment ago, but again, no lower low, and it's not really it's kind of a doji is what it is on the 2-hour time frame. But I think Cardano is a good one. Cardano, obviously a high quality crypto. Most people think that still, and it looks like it's changing trajectory. Volume here is amazing and very likely to hopefully continue. Hey, what's up, Anthony? Yeah, I'll write Nano down for sure. All right. So Cardano doing pretty good here. If you're a Cardano fan, yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's pretty good. You need to be a bad trader to be a good marketer. So guys, join the power hour. What does that mean? Bad trader to be a good marketer. Yeah, I'd like to be both, but I'm not. All right, next up is Link. All right, so Link's been doing pretty good. So Link with a 13,491 alert was the last one we had, and we broke that yesterday just after the close. Link's getting back up towards the prior high. I think it's going to go back up to 20 or at least 16 here. But so there's 20 on the daily. It's way up there. You can see how much work we've been doing here on Link, but it has been a laggard. It's doing pretty good today, up almost 7%. Let's get rid of a lot of this stuff. There's just too much stuff up here. We'll get rid of 15.5. We'll get rid of that. I wish I could draw a line and then hit every trend line in there, but it doesn't work that way. So much minutia. Price action in Link. All right, so there we go. So Link has been kind of in this weird rising wedge thing, but it's getting up here. Volume's okay. It's not bad. It's not great either. With the market getting good, I think Link's going to get back up, but it's not the Link that it used to be. I'm not the Link I used to be. But it is moving with the rest of the market, so it's just going to be part of the market. It doesn't look like it's going to be leading the market right now. So we did break out from that 13, and it looks like we're just starting to break up a little bit from here, very similar to all the other coins that we're still seeing break up from the selling candle in the previous 2-hour bar, but we're not seeing a lower low. Volume a little early in the candle, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that big. So I'm not sure about follow through on a lot of these. All right, next up is Litecoin. Fambe says, feeling like getting a bit gains now, though. Is it going to be ugly again? Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Fambe. I'm sorry. If you want to elaborate, I'll be happy to speak to that. Litecoin, yesterday, guys, during the show, if you remember Litecoin, so I bought after the show, I bought Litecoin. I didn't buy it during the show. I liked it, and then after the show, it started popping up like another 1% while the market was stagnant, and then I bought some Litecoin, and you can see the result. So if you guys remember yesterday, during this time, during the show, the whole market had it dropped down. Probably easier to show you on a chart that actually moved. Yeah, it's not super apparent. Is that it? That's 5. So there's the 9 o'clock candle right here, this red one. The whole market moved down. We had that's why this line is here. We had this as a supportive trend line. It held the supportive trend line, but Litecoin did not move. And we just happened to be looking at Litecoin at the time. We got really lucky on that one. So look, there's the 9 o'clock candle. So everything else got like down to here per se. Litecoin didn't even budge. It was flat. We happened to be watching it. And then a little bit later after the show, it popped up, and I did get some Litecoin. I didn't get a bunch, but I did get some. BTC was moving too good, but so I did get a little bit of Litecoin, and Litecoin since then has been acting fantastically. Nice consolidation, lower volume, and then some great follow through here. And again, look at Litecoin, guys. I talked about this in my public video a few days ago. Look for Litecoin, and that large selling candle that we just saw on every one of these charts is a big ass green candle on Litecoin. Is a big green candle, and it's actually outperforming. It's now looks like the leader in the market. So guys, I think Litecoin is back. I think Litecoin is definitely back, and I'm gonna try to keep my position. It's not massive, but it's a decent size, and I think Litecoin is going to do spectacular things. We were a little bit trepidatious on the sell-off, but then again, at the same time here, a pretty deep H pattern volume got very quickly, very rapidly. And anyway, good signs from Litecoin. I got no issues with Litecoin. It's a little bit extended up here. We have a 94.23. I think that's our active alert. That is our active alert for Litecoin. So I'm not sure if we're going to blow straight past that. I kind of doubt it, but that's about 7% away. Hard to buy it up here. Wait for another consolidation. But I mean, bigger picture-wise, Litecoin's phenomenal. So no issue with that. Fambe, taking a bit of a profit now if market stalls. I don't want to. I try. Here's the thing, Fambe. I really try not to trade on what ifs. If you have the word if in your thesis, something's wrong. Okay? You should not have if in your thesis. If you're trading and the word if is in your lexicon, something's wrong. You should know what your edge is in the market. You should at least have a theory about what the market is doing. So without using the sentence, without using the word if, I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't take in possibilities. It doesn't mean you're only, unidirectional. It doesn't mean like I'm only bullish. But what you're saying, instead of saying if, you say, okay, Bitcoin's in an upward trajectory. We're poking at all-time highs. We're not backing away. When if comes into play, you can say, if Bitcoin drops to here, I will exit. The if comes in to, what you're going to do in a specific situation, but not preempting the if. The if has to happen. The if has to happen in order for you to do the thing, if that makes sense. So, you pick a level if it falls. You know what I mean? Just pick a level. You would have been wrong in almost every circumstance. And depending on your time frame and how you trade, that if would have been detrimental to your position sizing. So you have to understand under which situations you're going to exit the market, and that's what you trade based off of. You don't trade based off of what if. If you see some metrics that you typically trade that are elevated, like say you're a serious RSI trader and you're like, oh, if it gets towards 87, I'm taking profits. That's not a what if. That is a definitive. That is a definitive signal that you have. You say, oh, when I see divergence, I will take profits. Not if I see divergence, when I see divergence. You go from like an if to a when mentality. Maybe that's a better way to put it. So when Bitcoin, so just take this. You're like, okay, well, if Bitcoin breaks up 17, I'd like to get in. How about when Bitcoin breaks 17, I'm getting in? I think there's enough people here that some people are probably our marketers, but there's something about a weak voice and a strong voice. I think if I'm getting those right, it's something about when you're like writing stuff, you want to speak in a strong, anyway, so you want to do that with your trading too. You want to come from a position of strength. When this happens, I'm doing this. When this happens, I'm doing this. Not, I think it's pretty high, it could fall, I think I may exit. That's not much of an exit strategy, because that at that stage you have no additional entry strategy. What is your entrance after that? What happens after you sell because of an if? At that point, you're out of tune with the market. At that point, there's nothing you can do. You really can't. Then you're stuck with bad decisions. And so that's really that's a position you don't want to be in. You can say when it hits 20K, I'm selling. And then when it breaks 20K again, I'm buying. You know what I mean? But try not to trade on ifs. I know I went off on a tangent, but that's okay. If tangent. I'm going to have to write these down. So once again, guys, this is a preview for the power, not a preview, it's just a live stream for a power hour that I do. Bitcoin's really close to 20K. I doubt we'll catch 20K during the show, but that was kind of our hope. Not sure we're going to see that today, but we will have timestamps on the video afterwards, so everything that we're discussing, you'll be able to reference later on. All right, so next up is DOT. All right, so DOT has been rallying throughout of the lows here. Okay volume, not spectacular. Definitely lagging today, only up 4%, not a leader. I wasn't a big fan of it rising so far, then coming all the way back down to the 462. It should have stopped sooner than that, but apparently there's more distribution here than people think. All right, next up is BNB. Take on Bitcoin dominance if Bitcoin rockets above 20K. I'll address that in a second, Leon. Just saw your question. And then Pete, let me do this real quick. All right, so BNB, bigger picture-wise on BNB, I'm a very big fan of BNB. I did I think it was a live stream a while ago when we drew these channels. If you guys saw that, we mentioned a potential for $60 to $70 BNB. I think BNB, obviously a very high quality coin in a very strong position in terms of a market perspective. What I mean by that is that the BNB as an ecosystem is very healthy. It's not languishing like, people have questions about Tron and stuff like that. BNB, there's no question, is high quality. Now, this is a pretty choppy coin generally. So it trends really well, trades really badly. That's kind of how I put that. But I think in time, if you're very patient, you could get at least a double, maybe a little bit more out of BNB, given some time. All right, so let's answer a couple of questions. Looks like I missed some. One was from our Pete. What up, our Pete? Is it a bad move to sell some BTC now and buy back above 20.5 or so, since 20 is a big number and may pull back after we cross it? It's a plan. It's not my favorite plan. I would say, so it looks like you already have some BTC. Why don't you say I'm going to sell under these circumstances, and then I'll buy back after these circumstances, if that makes sense, right? Instead of just because right now that tells me you're coming in you're a little scared. You're like, okay, this thing could pull back, kind of like the what if we just went through a little bit. You're like, this thing could pull back. A lot of lines on a lot of charts, don't I? So you're like, yeah, this thing could pull back here, but if you look at the market, if you just look at it, it doesn't scream to me I'm gonna fail. It could have a pullback. We just had a pullback, which actually makes it less likely, especially that we crossed that prior high, makes it a little less likely to have that pullback. So I'm not necessarily in that camp where I would arbitrarily want to sell. I just want to stay with it as much as I possibly can. Yeah. Again, like I said earlier, you don't want to come in from a position of no plan and weakness. You want to walk in, treat it like an interview. You want to walk in with a plan. They're going to ask you what's your worst quality, and you're going to have to say your best quality is your worst quality. Name a weakness. I just work too hard, man. My family life really suffers. And you got to have a plan when you walk in there. When you're doing an interview, the same thing here. You got to have a plan. I can't imagine this is the first time we've thought about getting to 20K. So this should not be a surprise, right? This should not be a surprise, unless you're just being a passive YouTuber that just watches weird YouTube videos about Bitcoin. Then you're not thinking about the market. But if you're in the markets, guys, I was actually thinking about that this morning during my stock show, because we've traded this last leg really, really well. And I was like, you know why that happened? Because we're so fucking plugged in and we're so deep. We are so deep and in tune with the markets that it's easy to catch some of these early turnarounds. It's very easy. So, Rafet says 125K. I don't care. I'm not going to answer that question, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Unless you're trading options. If you have an options trade to talk about, I'll be happy to talk about that. But that's one of those questions for, I don't know. It doesn't make a difference. It literally doesn't. In what way would that help you with trading? It's a question for tourists. So I don't do tourist stuff anymore. I'm done with that. When do you think about Plan B's stock to flow model? Never heard of it. So I don't have any. I don't have any. Yeah, I haven't heard about it at all. If you're gonna sell 25K, then just put a limit order in and sell, and then it doesn't matter when it gets there. That sounds like a trading plan. I'm not mad at that. If you're gonna sell at 25K, put a limit order in, let it go, and then it doesn't matter when. It's just gonna get there sometime, won't it? So that's not a bad plan. That's not bad at all. If that's what you want to do. Yeah, so who cares when it gets there, right? Doesn't matter if it's tomorrow, a week from now. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right, so did I miss any? Oh yeah, Anthony had a question. Fear and Greed Index, we can take a look at that. Probably 1,000. It's only 88. Everyone's scared because we're at 20K. And we're seeing some of that in the chat, actually. A couple of comments about should I sell right now because it's too high, right? And then you're seeing that here. We were at, 90. We saw it. I think we saw it higher than that. 94, 93. And so we've definitely backed down to 88 because people are scared because it's too high. Very interesting. Very interesting. Plan B stock to flow model. Okay. Yeah, we'll look at that in a little bit. We'll look at that in a little bit. All right, so yeah, Anthony with a question. How do you find your edge against the market? Sounds like that could take many years of work to find. Just journaling and back testing. Great question, Anthony. That's actually a really good question. I'm going to write that down by itself. It's a complicated. It's very difficult to say how you're going to find your edge. I can tell you how I found my edge. So I've been a technical trader for a very long time, and I just couldn't get with it. I couldn't find it. Even to this day, I still find it a little difficult without my edge. I do really good with leverage trading. It makes me hyper focused. It makes me very honest with the charts. And it's really what focuses me and gives me the ability to be patient, because if I'm not patient, I will get destroyed. So impending doom was my edge on the market. And it has the double-edged sort of also really elevating your profits when you get them. So that's my edge. There's other like Bob here, his edge on the market. He's really good. He's really good at finding stocks that are about to move. That's his edge. Okay, you can tell he really enjoys it because he's doing good at it. So whatever gets you focused, that's going to be your edge on the market. If journaling and backtesting is a big part of that, but eventually you're going to hit a trade and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I like that. This is cool. And then that's what you should probably focus on. In my opinion, technical analysis is one of the best tools that you can use, but there's lots of tools in that tool bag. Technical analysis is like a tool chest, right? You have drawers. I mean, I'm sure you guys know. If you guys don't know what a mechanic's toolbox looks like, like a big, beautiful mechanic's toolbox. There you go. Is that Matco? Looks like Matco. Oh, nope, they just they just copied Matco. So this is technical analysis. Which drawer are you going to pull open? Which drawer are you going to resonate with? You know what I mean? Like you're going to have, someone mentioned Elliott waves, some guy just mentioned stock to flow, I do price action, chart patterns. I mean, just pick a drawer. You know, like this is Elliott waves, the biggest, widest drawer. Not that it's the best drawer, but it's just, you know, it's a big, wide caveat you can get lost in. Then you got narrow drawers up here, you know. So it's just what's going to give you that edge, what's going to keep you focused. And then that is what you should focus on. And it can take years. It took me a very long time to find my edge in the market. But once I found it, oh man, it's clear as day. And then you're in a whole different headspace. And then it's just about mastering money management, position sizing, and stuff like that. But it can, guys, it can take a while. You want to do something that's going to make you $1 million, it's not going to take you a freaking week. It's going to take you years. It's just the way that it is, guys. It's just the way that it is. But you have to want it bad enough to stay with it. Otherwise, go work at Wendy's. That's easy. This is hard. This is difficult. Oh, did you like that video? I'm just gonna call you View, so I don't want to butcher your first name. Yeah. I had that thought, and I thought about doing it. Yeah, it came out really well. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I hope to do more like that. Okay, so a bunch of questions coming in here. Plan B stock to flow. Little brother's all in on Matic. Has the crypto even come up on your radar? Yeah, mix up. We've definitely had Matic on our radar from time to time. It's not up there right now. I will say to your brother, never fall in love with a coin because they won't love you back. Matic is not in a position of strength right now, especially versus Bitcoin. And versus the dollar, it's not too bad. It's holding its own, so that's good. But it's on our radar for sure. Yeah, this is one of the cryptos we follow every day. I follow about 250 cryptos. It's soon getting to 300. I have a feeling, which is gonna be way too much freaking work. I'm gonna have to find a way to limit the coins I watch. So it's on the radar, but yeah, look, I only deal with the coins that are actively moving. I don't give a crap what the project is. Sorry, I'm new. Maybe my question is silly, but since my Bitcoin is in the wallet, how can I put limit for selling of 25K? You'll have to put it on an exchange. You'll have to put it on some type of an exchange. There's no other way to do it. Bob's got similar to 24.5 and 25 on some app you use, then do it. Yeah, so that's, yep, Bob's answering your question there. Rafat, I'm going to try not to butcher your name. Ichimoku is my focus, no doubt. There you go. There you go. Like Sekimochu Cloud. I got nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to disparage anything. I'll talk a little shit about Elliott waves from time to time. You know, we all have our opinions, but if you're great with Elliott waves, I'd love to learn from you. Tip is to backtest edges you read on the internet. That's a good way to go. You want to order your Lambo now? Yeah, sorry, it doesn't work that way. I do have that on the newsletter today. My Calef 92. Any comment on gold and what's your opinion about the stock market? I heard market crash soon. You heard market crash soon. That means it's not gonna crash. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the market's gonna crash, Aram. I really don't. The vaccines are here. They're just trying to scare you out of your positions. So, look, the market wants to go up. No market wants to go down. It's not the way markets work. Some markets do go down. That's without a doubt, but they don't want to go. Who wants the market to go down? If you raise your hand, it's because you want to buy it so you can get more. Welcome to being a professional institutional trader. They want the same things, so they're not selling positions. What I think happened is we had a liquidity injection for what should have been a massive bear market. Obviously, the Federal Reserve gave a liquidity injection to the markets, and that's what's propped us up. But from here on out, we're just on an elevated playing field, which is going to keep these high prices, in my opinion. Hey, what's up, Mexican Charlie? I don't have a target for. I don't have a target, Mexican Charlie. I don't do that. All right, I'm going to move on. We're not even halfway through our top 20, ladies and gentlemen, but I appreciate the questions. It's been amazing. Good job. I love the questions. All right, next up is XLM. Let me reset my chart here again. Litecoin pumping? Yeah, it's been pumping. It's actually stalled from where we saw it over there, Charlie Lee. Yeah, we looked at that a little bit ago. What about the gold? I don't care. I don't really care much for gold. I'd rather be in Bitcoin than gold. XLM 2059 is our current alert level for this one. XLM holding very nicely here, cup and handle. It appears that we're done going lower over the past 24-ish hours. We've held this 18 whatever level, 1882 it looks like. So pretty good right here. And hopefully we can keep going. This moves with XRP. So that is going to, it's going to be obviously a little dependent on what Bitcoin does up here, but so far really good for XLM. It's definitely going to have to break out. If that breaks at 2059, you're going to see some resistance at 22 and then likely upwards of 23, 23 and a half. So there you go. All right, next up is BSV. I'll do some more questions in a little bit, guys. I think I'll go with my newsletter, then jump back to questions. We'll go back and forth like that. That's probably a good way to do it. So BSV came down and tested our lower trend line yet again, bouncing back all the way through. Nice follow through. Not a tremendous amount of volume. Appears the whole market's kind of stalling right now, kind of in wait and see mode, and I think BSV included. With Bitcoin Cash up so much, BSV shouldn't be too far behind. This has a very large symmetrical triangle on it, very similar to Litecoin. I would also expect a larger move out of BSV. We've had some talk about $1,000 BSV at some point, and at some point, yeah. But right now it's stalling. Yeah, it's just stalling right now. Nothing to get too excited about. It needs a base or something. Next up is EOS. All right, EOS. 7.3% doesn't feel like it though on the charts. Running up out of these lows, but doesn't look very excitable. Same green high volume candle we've been discussing, able to exceed it, which is good. Another one with a large triangle on it. A lot of these ones definitely look like they want to continue higher drastically sometime in the future. I think right now we're just going through the motions of creating larger bases in some of these. Some like Litecoin is an early breakout leader for that. These others are going to come later, I think. Next up is Tron. I think in the near future, guys, in the show, I may actually skip some of these top 20 just because if they're not showing us anything, I may just skip them for time, just to save some time. But we'll see how it goes. Like some feedback on Power Hour members on that. 3131 broke really nicely here on Tron, got up there, but yeah, it's okay. Bigger picture-wise isn't bad. It's got this channel that it's been stuck in. It's trying to get out. Like I said, many of these coins are looking to break some larger patterns. This is the one on Tron. If you're a big Tron fan, that's good for you. XMR. Someone had a comment on XMR that I think I missed earlier. I think it was it Bob that had a comment on XMR? Someone had an XMR comment. If you guys want to repost it, do it quick. So XMR, we had a really, really nice flat support level on XMR right there at the 110.35. We noted it over here and talked about it here on the early breakout. And then a quick retest of that level is pretty good. XMR trying to bounce back. Volume a little bit light. Hopefully today's will be better because it's not a Saturday or a Sunday. But it's on a good trajectory. I think, oh, you bought it? Would you buy on the breakout over here of the little flag? Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, not bad here. Not bad here. Fairly consistent too. Look at that same candle. Not as high volume as the rest of the market. Maybe that's a good thing. But definitely would like to see some higher volume. But yeah, that's a good little pump there, Bob. All right, next up is XTZ. Kind of has really been a non-starter for us. Kind of not interesting. It was doing pretty good over the 222.44, but since then I haven't been a big fan of the way that's been shaping up lately. No real upside action, so kind of a non-starter for us. Next up is NEM. 1978 alert level, holding support is really good. NEM breaking out of a double bottom base really nicely, although NEM is very choppy. We've been discussing this the entire time. Just you can just see generally how choppy NEM is, and it's probably going to be choppy, and will probably also stay with its upward trajectory. So I can't be too mad at NEM. CRO. We mentioned the other day, coming back down. It was holding up here, coming back down, not such a good thing, but holding this prior level is pretty decent. 3 undercut and rally candles, volume greatly declining here as we get calmer. So it could be a good thing now, increasing volume. Hopefully this is back on an upswing. Not enough for me to get really interested to take any position though. Next up is FIL. So new to the top 20 for us. Yeah, we'll check ICX. I'll write it down. New to the top 20 for us. I have a 3111 alert. Looks like we are slowly getting up this resistance level and squeezing towards that 3111. This, I think, really has to see some volume. I don't know where else this has been traded before, but this is a pretty good setup. I like this. This is very nice. So keep an eye on it. Next up is NEO. So NEO kind of rallying with the market, only up 5%, lagging a little bit. Is being supported by the trend line. That's the only good thing I have to say about it. Other than that, the price action is a little abysmal. Atom also pretty choppy in here with really no direction, very similar to XTZ. I kind of put these in the same category. NEO as well, CRO as well. All these down here aren't doing super hot. I'm not sure if I have a great alert for Atom, but I don't really think I need one. All right, next up is Dash. So Dash has a cup and handle, and we just started breaking the handle. Volume is not very heavy, so we may go on to form another handle. 112.96 was our alert level. We're barely above that, so you arguably could try to take a position. Your better stop loss, unfortunately, is down about 10-11% right now. Maybe have to take a half position if you want to jump in on that. I do like the elevated volume on Dash. It's been a while since we've actually seen this coin do anything spectacular. Remember this run, guys? Holy crap, that was an amazing run with an amazing exit and all that good stuff. And waiting for it to come back. Maybe it finally is coming back. This is the base that I think can maybe get it going, but most of these cryptos have a hard time following through. All right, so to kind of wrap things up for the top 20, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin knocking at the door. Not sure if we're going to get there. Looks like we're pulling in a little bit right now. We are seeing some distribution, but we're not backing away too far. If we're going to maintain up here for a while, I think that would be great. Hopefully the next couple of days, you never know what's going to transpire, but like we just said a little bit ago, some people said, should I sell now and then buy back later? Should I sell now then buy back higher? If that's something you want to do, just make sure you have a plan in place. I'm just kind of holding my position right now. I think the move is good. This is a little concerning. That is a big candle. There's no getting around that. Go to the 2 hour. That looks like the largest candle we've had in a long time since this bottoming candle here. So, you essentially almost have this range right here between that support and now this resistance. And so this is the battle that's being had right now. So how is this going to transpire? Nobody knows for sure. RSI on the 2 hour is a little bit high, so if we could meander around here for a little bit, form some other type of a pattern, I think that would be good. But yeah, I'm not willing to run out of it. That is a bit of a scary candle on the 2 hour. Let's check some other time frames too. 15-minute, not that bad. Not that bad. We don't have any additional buying pressure yet. Our largest candle since this big green candle is that candle, which technically is a support candle. And we've been low volume since then. So we appear to be in a low volume declining situation on the 15-minute, which hopefully will lead to something bullish on the 2 hour in the near future, in whatever that may be. Now, bigger picture wise, if you're looking for support, I think that's a supportive trend line right now that really keeps this trend intact. Other than that, we have this larger trend line here. So if we don't find support here, we'll likely find support along this trend line at some point in the future. And so you can see we have plenty of opportunity to go sideways. That's December 8th. That's about a week. So we could fumble around for a week here and then end up rocking higher. A firm break of this trend line would kill this try at 20K. And then we are likely to maybe see another consolidation or a larger consolidation, which would suck, but it's going to be what it's going to be. So that's wrapping up. And if that does happen, you can look at some of the altcoins maybe for some leadership. But if that falls apart and these fall apart, what you're going to be looking for is some of the top altcoins that drop, if they do drop, to rally back on through on some bottoming action. Jay Chin says, I'm all in for sideways. To be honest, gives alts a chance to run. Yeah, could be. Could be. I mean, we all just ran with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin going isn't necessarily that detrimental to the market. Right now, it does appear that everything is running together. The whole board is green. So that's a good thing. All right, let's answer a few more questions. All right, so Aram says, what about gold? Yeah, gold is going to move with the money supply, I think, Aram. So if we get an additional round of some type of QE, I think that will end up happening. But it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm not really a gold trader. I'm not super interested in it, to be honest with you. I get enough with Bitcoin to really care too much about gold. Leon says, hi there, what's your take on BTC dominance and thus alts in total when Bitcoin breaks high through 20K and rockets up? Yeah, let's take a look at the dominance. Dominance is a bit all over the place. I don't know what's up with the calculation, but I guess it's fine. So BTC moving up a little bit. But you see the alts also moving up, especially, Ethereum and XRP staying right up there with Bitcoin. Now they don't really hold a candle to Bitcoin's market cap. You'd think this would be higher with Bitcoin's run. Bitcoin dominance should be continuing up, but I don't know. Maybe it's enough to offset that. But I mean, Bitcoin dominance. When we were breaking this right here, I'm like, man, what the hell is Bitcoin gonna do? Because it's getting really high. We're gonna have to bring it in, or Bitcoin's just gone. And we brought it in. And then if you look at the rest of the altcoins, you can look at total 2. If you're on TradingView. And so we had a cup base here on all the altcoins that took its little sweet ass time, but finally broke out, pull back, and now we're continuing with the altcoins. So I think the altcoins are in a great position. Generally, I don't know if they're going to keep up with Bitcoin or outpace Bitcoin, but you can, going back to the dominance chart, it does appear that they're holding their own with the BTC. And that is a very healthy cryptocurrency market. Generally, we're in a nice bull market. I really, really want to stay with as many coins as long as I possibly can in these types of markets. All right, let's see what other questions we've got. Richard, you've been solid with your knowledge for me over the past few years. Oh, yep, you're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words, Richard. You said it, I was typing it. This is really exciting. All the Btc back up at all-time high, but the chart looks very similar to December 2017. I would assume it's going to dump and correct. It looks nothing like 2017 in my opinion. I mean, it could dump and correct, but it doesn't look anything like 2017. I mean, that was 2017. This is just a little run. This is really nothing in comparison. I mean, we could dump and correct and put a double top in here. It's possible. It's not a traditional double top, but if you look over here, last time we hit 1300 over here, I mean, we did bobble around it a little bit, so it's not uncommon. And, you can't rule it out. You can't rule anything out when you're trading. Is Bitcoin forming a rising wedge on the 5-minute chart? I usually don't go to the 5-minute chart that often. So I don't know. No, I don't really see a rising wedge at all. I see a nice extension up towards 20K, and then I see a consolidation on pretty low volume, and you see another high volume candle stepping in just before that candle. So there's definitely a little bit of support in here. Hopefully we're done going lower, and maybe we don't go higher. Maybe this 19,150 is our current stop for this potential leg to be done. So yeah, I don't really see much on the 5-minute time frame other than a bull flag. Looking for more questions. Okay, Wedge mentioned this guy in some while back, so I came to check him out. Thanks for checking out Digital. Hope you subscribe and hang around. And also, guys, we do have a Slack chat room for those of you that I'm pretty sure everyone knows this. I don't think I get too many people outside of my subscribers watch my videos. I'm not posting every 3 days, but Slack chat room, you can sign up right there for the Slack chat room. It's free. There's no charge for it. The only thing I charge for is Power Hour and webinars right now. Okay, so next up is more QE to come when Biden admin passes next stimulus. Does that push markets even further, even though earnings will generally suck? So, Anil, looks like you're talking about general stock market. And in the stock market, it's hard to say earnings will suck because they've been lowering expectations now for the past 9 months or whatever. So I don't know if the earnings are going to suck, Anil. I think if you're a manager of a public company, would you rather overinflate your earnings estimates or underinflate your earnings estimates at this stage? I would be underinflating my earnings estimates, and I would be, trying to over deliver and under promise. So I don't know if earnings are actually going to be that bad. And, markets are very, very forward looking. So if they do get stimulus, if we do get additional stimulus, obviously some of that's going to flow into the markets, which will additionally buoy the markets. And I do not see a bad 2020. It could happen, but the way it's looking right now, it's not really something that's on my radar. I'm prepared for it. Any day I get a bad candle, I start looking, but I can change my opinion quick. ICX sideways gives alts a chance to run. Don't forget to like the video. Randy never remembers, dumbass. Exactly. eToro account is just shown as empty. Well, you better call somebody, Lydia. That's not good. That's not good. What do you think of YouTube Data Dash? I haven't seen that guy in like 2 or 3 years. I don't know what he's up to. He's not a very good technical trader. I think he's just a hodler that got super big. Was very fortunate to jump in super early. But I haven't seen his work in a long time. Do you think Bitcoin topped out because of big red candle? Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Bitcoin's fine. I think Bitcoin's okay. I got no issues with it up here. I think it is going to go through 20K. Yeah, I think it is going to go through 20K, but we'll see how it happens. If I'm wrong, I'll exit. He's live right now? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so next up, I'm going to do Binance, US coins. I only had one up here today, as everything else was kind of already covered. And it was Waves, which is what we've been discussing. Waves for a long time now. Waves has been a really big winner lately, but I think it may be starting to lose some steam. So if this trend line gets broken on high volume, that is a clear exit signal in my opinion. Really didn't have a major exit signal on Waves yet, but we're getting back up. We have failed to go past the breakdown point so far. Hopefully we can in support of this trend line, but that would be good. Other than that, Waves may have run its course. It's up dramatically. Our early alert of 132.32 into 3.5. Now we're at 7. So this has had an absolutely phenomenal run. We're moving higher here on lower volume, especially compared to this action. So the buying pressure is subsiding. And so in my opinion, at this stage, you should be looking for an exit in case of a breakdown. So, when this breaks this trend line on high volume, that is definitely an exit signal. But if it goes up, then obviously you're still okay. All right, next up is Power Hour coins. These are BTC pairs, and we have a spreadsheet that we manage for these, and the first one up is Lend. So Lend, we had a 38.19 alert level as this thing was putting in a cup. We broke it pretty nicely, just came back and retested it. The hell? Well, that's a good way to get yourself blocked. Timeout. That's weird. Why the hell would you even post that? That's stupid. So Lend 38.19, we broke out. Very good volume. That is like, if you're looking at that in real time, you're like, damn, I got a winner. This is amazing. And then it just goes, bleh. You're like, ah, crap. So holding the alert level is good though. Holding the buy point basically is what that one is good though. But the amount of volume that came down was pretty drastic. The aggregation tool actually red after all is said and done right now, but could find yourself with a lower risk entry point. If you're lucky, about a 3% stop loss, which isn't too bad. Most of the DeFis aren't necessarily looking super crazy. OMG? Yeah, well, we can look at OMG too. So yeah, nothing too great on the DeFis right now, which is, you think with Bitcoin rolling, they would be a little bit more bullish, but they're not. All right, next up is Ethereum. All right, so ETH broke. We had this with a really nice cup and handle here with a 37.15 alert level. Broke out pretty nicely, but the sell-off was better. These past two candles definitely dwarfing those ones. Fortunately, it looks like we're able to hold that 37.15, and we've already bounced up pretty decently. So yeah, maybe it's not so bad after all. Maybe it's not so bad. So maybe BTC does stall a little bit here. The alts are getting a little bit more frothy. Next up is LTC. That's Litecoin. And Litecoin bouncing back here with a new high versus Bitcoin, not doing too bad. Losing Bitcoin accumulation day. Yeah, we'll see how it ends up. It's a low volume pullback right now, so I'm not super scared of it, but hopefully it stays low volume, or we can get some elevated volume bringing us back up. It's gonna go high volume at some point, but so far it's looking bullish. So yeah, Litecoin. Let's hold on a second. All right, so Litecoin on the daily, out of this larger declining channel, tons of volume, unfortunately tons of selling volume on the Bitcoin chart, which makes things a little bit iffy. But you know, on the 2 hour, we're doing okay. We're, you know, at some point we're going to get some great volume that's going to change the trajectory of this. But with Bitcoin rallying through, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to get this really going. At some point it will, though. Bitcoin's going to have to stall. Maybe it's now, maybe it's a little bit later, but say Bitcoin selling in just a little bit, but volume's still pretty low, so I'm not super concerned with it. Next up is XRP. All right, so next up is XRP versus BTC. 3509 is a new alert level in case it breaks that trend line. It doesn't look like it really wants to, though, so I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here. Like we said, XRP usually bounces and then fails. This definitely has an opportunity to continue higher, but it's going to have to break, and that's our alert level, is that one, 3509. Next up is ICX, which was a suggestion. Let's go check it out. All right, so Icon broke out larger picture. That's good. Good volume on the way up. Some high volume sell candles, unfortunately. Maybe we'll put in a higher low here. That would be good, but right now it doesn't really appear that is really what's happening yet. So it's not too bad. Not too bad. We got to break that trend line in order for us to get back to bullish again, but it's okay. Next up is OMG. And Omisego. We've been trying to give Omisego a shot, but so far it's been failing. It's not really above its trend line. It's loosely above its trend line here, so not something I'm really into. I think it's a situation where it's going to need a lot more bottoming action and or sideways action. It just doesn't look very bullish. So Omisego is pretty much a non-starter for me at this stage. All right, and that's all the coins that I had, guys. With BTC rallying, it pretty much murdered all the altcoin charts. Let's go back to Bitcoin, which does appear that it's deepening its sell-off. And so is the general market. XRP's only at 6%. Nano. Oh yeah, I did have Nano up here. Yeah, let's take a look at Nano. Yeah, sorry, Anthony. All right, so Nano. So here's Nano USD. So there's Nano USD, still up in the top of the range, holding its own, doing pretty good, but right now not really moving very much. The whole market kind of stagnating a little bit. I think waiting to see what BTC is gonna do up here. Does appear to be more selling pressure than buying pressure. So far it's lower, but I'm watching it on another screen. That pressure just got a little more elevated actually on the sell side. But so Nano up here, not too bad. It needs to break out of some of these ranges that we have here in these two boxes, as it's not quite fully doing that yet. It's going to have to get some momentum, at least over that 1.26. I'll make that our alert level, 1.26 for Nano. All right. And then Nano Btc. Oh, Bitcoin continuing lower. Oh, just got bought up a little bit. And Nano Btc, looks like we stalled at the high at the breakdown. Yep, we talked about that the other day. Still consolidating on this one, so not really much to do with Nano here. Not really much to do. It's a little low. You could find support where we've already found support at that 554. It's a very awkward spot to be holding Nano, to be honest with you, because it's a little bit low, so you don't quite want to exit it because, I mean, 10%'s a lot to give up. Hopefully it doesn't get down there, but it probably will, and then it'll hopefully chop the range. But bigger picture on Nano, not very bullish. Not very bullish, so not one I'm really looking to just kind of hold on to right there. All right, let's get back to BTC as it appears to be doing stuff. It continues to sell off. So that candle right there continuing to put pressure. 15-minute coming down pretty hard. Volume still not too bad. Volume still not too bad, but yeah, you can see declining volume here. Definitely need to see some buying pressure at some point. Like we mentioned, this trend line, we could get down to there. Our prior high is about 18.7. So that could be another area we could bounce at, which in the future here would coincide with the trend line. And so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Volume on this candle a little bit heavier than the other ones. 8.5 minutes left in a 15-minute candle. We're almost to the prior candle, so we should have volume up here. We'll see if it'll be a bottoming candle or a continuation sell-off candle. It's still developing at the moment. All right, so miss any more questions? XRP scary in the past 2 candles. Yeah. Well, the whole market is selling off a little bit from that touch up there at 20K. So we'll see. We got, where's I just changed my order. Litecoin, there we go. So Litecoin on the 15-minute volume aggregation tool, very mixed, but leaning bearish at the moment. Stalling candle up here for Litecoin, right at that breakdown point. Hey, thanks, Tom. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Yeah, hit the subscribe button if you like it. I eventually post videos. So it does look like we're definitely not interested in 20K in right now. So we're going to consolidate, and what that's going to look like is up in the air. Again, trend line here, trend line here. You have a couple of possibilities where we could find support. Yeah, I'm not enjoying the look of it, of that one candle so far. But I mean, overall, oh, there we go. Ah, yes. Bottom, you son of a. I really would like a nice consolidation here, because keep in mind what we've been doing the entire time on this leg up. Even bigger picture. So we rallied up here. We've had some sideways consolidations. Maybe we just do sideways here. That would be great. And then a pop up through 20K. Maybe like nothing. Maybe just continuing that action. Even on the daily time frame, when you look at it, that's kind of what we've been doing. We've just kind of been walking up, popped up, based, popped up, based. And then now we've been walking up in the larger picture here, which is that whole thing right there, right? So hopefully that's just a continuation. Let's go naked chart because you can't even see it. Too many lines. How do I feel about a possible weekly, monthly higher close? I don't know. I necessarily, I don't care. I don't do a lot of weekly stuff on Bitcoin. I know some guys do. I don't. It's such a, it's a 24/7 market. You know, it's very fluid, and so I think weekly closes are like monthly on the stock chart, where it's like it's just too much in a lot of instances. Because even if you like a monthly this or that, you can't trade off a monthly chart. I mean, I guess you can, but no one really does. no one really trades off a monthly chart. So I don't think they're of much consequence. Yeah, so I don't think much about it. Yeah. Guys, give me a second. Give me about 1 minute. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. All right, so we said let's do top 20 versus BTC, so let's do that. Monkeytron likes to do that every day, so we'll do it today. All right, so top 20 versus BTC. We've already looked at most of these, but we'll be able to get a second opinion here, I guess. All right, so Ethereum on the daily time frame, I think is okay. We've kind of, higher lows throughout here. I think that's pretty good. Shorter term, we're kind of bobbling around with BTC, but at least we're moving up with Bitcoin. At least most of these aren't down 6%, so that's a good thing. XRP, we already had this one. We have a declining trend line here with an alert level at the 3, whatever, and that's doing okay, but it really has to break out, ideally on very, very good volume. At least this green candle, at a minimum, that green candle right there. Bitcoin Cash. Oh, let me put the lines back. No, I don't have it drawn on that chart. Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin actually getting up right there. Very intriguing. So yeah, someone mentioned earlier that Bitcoin Cash made new lows versus Bitcoin. It did over here, but it's been able to bounce back and hold a higher low. I don't have tremendous hopes for Bitcoin Cash, but I do hope it starts to trend better. Let's take a look at Link. Link versus Bitcoin, kind of a non-starter. We'll go naked chart for a lot of these. What's up, Ethan? You just hanging out? What's up? I'm doing my show. What you need? Tablet, why? Maybe my room? I don't know. Wait, you want to play a game? Okay, I'll let you play a game. Find it and bring it here. All right, so Link against BTC. Sorry guys, my kids jump in the room and I don't yell at them to get out. See what happens when you naked chart. Look at all this stuff on this freaking chart. It's too much. Sometimes you have to naked chart. Naked chart. Boom! Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. There's Link for you. That's Link's life right now. Not doing much. All right, next up is BNB, which we can remove all these drawings too. Why not? BNB not in an upward trajectory. LTC. So we have actually ETH. I'm going to make back to green. I do kind of. ETH's doing pretty good right there. So we have these flags here. Red means bad. Purple means neutral. Green means pretty good. So I'm flipping ETH back to green. I think it was neutral for a minute, but I'm flipping it back to green here as it looks pretty good. All right, that's a good candle. Look at the Bitcoin, how that 15-minute candle's shaping up. Look at that. Bam! That's a bottom right there, son. Hopefully that stays a bottom. Just stay a bottom, okay? Gosh. All right, so next up, BNB. Not looking very good versus BTC. That is definitely red. Litecoin. I have this as a green, especially for longer term. You guys know how I feel about Litecoin. DOT, I have as a green because it broke the trend line. I'm going to keep it as a green for right now, even though it really doesn't have a lot of momentum at the moment. Maybe that'll shift at some point. Cardano. Yeah, you can try there. I'm not sure. I always find it in a weird place, the tablet. Just, I don't know, look like on, I don't know, it's flat. Look at flat places. Not in a closet. It'd be like on a shelf or something like that. Cardano. I have this as red. but it did pop up. I think I shifted this the other day. Actually, looking at this again, this is looking pretty good. Look at the way the volume's declining on the daily time frame. So I'm going to green this boy. I like that. All right, BSV. Not too bad. Don't want to green it yet, but I'm going to go purple. If it can hold this, it's going to go neutral, and I can't be too mad at that. All right, next up is EOS. Also holding, but EOS still generally kind of sucks, so I'm going to keep it as red. XMR is purple, as it's holding a low here on XMR and it's been for quite some time, which is why it's purple. If it can bounce out, it'll probably flip to green. Tron. So definitely extending out its time in this range here, which is why it's red. Now it is lower in the range, which technically could be a good thing. So again, if you're a Tron fan, you have a couple of things to be positive with here. XLM. We have an 1183 alert level. So we did pop and failed that, but I'm going to keep that as the alert level. I probably would be... Oh, actually, it's not too bad. It's actually not too bad of a trend line. And see, that's a... Okay, all right, I'll lower the alert. That's a full 9%, so... Let's do 1083. Yes, look at that.
Ow.
Ow, what? What'd you do? Here, bud. Where was it?
You know the old desk you had?
Yeah.
Is now next to Mommy's desk? That's where it was.
Oh, weird. That is weird. All right, so 1083 right there. Let me adjust that for XLM BTC. All right, 1083. Next up is XTZ. Ooh, lots of red. A couple of greens there too. I'd like to get more bullish on XTZ, but it's just not looking like it wants it. Neo, very similar situation. Popped up, but not a lot of interest down here. Broke that trend line, so no bueno on that one. NEM. NEM's been doing pretty good, actually. I have it as red. I probably haven't adjusted this in a while. Actually, not looking too bad. As odd as that is. Let's flip that to green. Next up is Atom. And Atom is also red, and for good reason, breaking this trend line so far, happily coming back down to the lows. If you like a position with a very tight stop, this could be one of them, but I wouldn't. It's not something I'm into right there. And then Hex, which I'm not sure why Hex BTC is on here, died. No, thank you. And then back to Bitcoin. Back to Bitcoin. Fambe with a question. How would you think old money thinks, like your casual stock trader? Maybe it's viable. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's viable, to be honest with you. Your casual stock trader, I think, has changed a little bit. There's been this whole Robinhood surgence that's come in, and I don't know how those guys think. They just kind of take gambles, is what it kind of looks like. So I don't know. I just look at accumulation and distribution, Fambe. That's all I try to look at. I just try to look at the charts and try to figure out if the market's selling or the market's buying. That's all we can do. That's it. It's actually relative. It's very difficult, yet it's relatively simple. Okay? You just have to follow the charts, take in information, spit out 97% of it, and then just look at the charts and try to ascertain what's going on with price action. That's pretty much all you got to do. All right, guys. So to kind of wrap things up here today for crypto, thank you for joining me today. This is a preview of the power. Well, not a preview. This is a live power hour. Trying to catch 20K, which at the start of the show we kind of knew it wasn't going to happen, but I already told people I was doing it, so we went ahead and went live today, or public today. Yeah, I think Bitcoin is stalling up here, which is not a bad thing. Consolidating before you break a key level is never a bad thing. I don't know what it's going to look like the rest of the day. We did just put in a nice bottoming candle, so hopefully we can start to curl back up here. If we do try to curl, if we do try to break 20K, I will probably try to go live again and look for that, I guess. But other than that, we're in an interesting situation at 20K because we have altcoins that are looking really good. And we have a lot of BTC also looking really good. So you're going to have to pick your poison with these ones. If you guys don't have positions, It's probably a waiting game. If you do have positions, you're gonna have to try to manage them appropriately. But right now, I think everything is doing okay until we see something start to break down. I really want to try to stay with the market as much as I possibly can, unless you have something weird like Crow or XTZ or Atom or which are like basically trendless. You want to try to stay with everything as much as you possibly can, and because we're in a bull market. And so even as much as it flops around like a fish from time to time, it ends up being okay. And until that changes, I think we're good to go. All right, so let's take a look at stocks for a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. I usually end the show like this because I'm going to look at them immediately after the show, so I figure why the hell not. Now the stock market this morning, all right, Tesla bounced back. GBTC bounced back. LTCN, this is a Litecoin ETF, up 50% today. Very illiquid. Very Fine Foods up 30%. Excellent. GBTC. All right, Myrna back up. I actually exited this position. Maybe I should jump back into that one. Later, Doral. See you tomorrow. GLDC, FLGT, AMD. All right, AMD got, wow. Nice reversal. Okay. Okay, D-Dog, Peloton, not bad. Not bad at all. Right, blockchain up 21%. Good move there. Great moves all around. AMD getting up today, guys. Very, very nice move on AMD. That basically confirms this is a breakout in my book. Yeah, that looks really, really good. Right, blockchain, Myrna still doing amazing. Still doing amazing up here. I took my profits on Myrna. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. So Tesla looks like it's trying to bounce back really nicely, right off the trend line too. Or I guess a little bit off the trend line. Is it a dead cat bounce? A little bit. It's a little bit of a dead cat bounce. So for those of you that haven't seen my videos on my Tesla trade, I'm expecting a pullback. I'm gonna hold through a pullback, and if this is it, so be it. Works for me. So far so good on the BTC or the Tesla trade. It's looking fantastic. Yeah, market's doing pretty good here. Nasdaq is holding nicely. I really don't want to run away from it by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, really want to try to stay with it. And Neil says, what would your strategy be for taking profits on Tesla? Does the move to the S&P matter? Well, it matters, but again, I look at technicals. I definitely sell on technicals, so I will be selling Tesla on topping signals. We've already seen two of them, and one day I was one day too early, one day I was one day too late. Maybe this time I'll try to get it right. So it's going to be what it's going to be. But yeah, looking for topping signals so far. So far, it's just been a very expansive move up on great volume, and so I really see no issue with Tesla at this moment in time. But I'll be looking to exit at some point. But yeah, based on technicals, hopefully towards that 900 level, which is my target. On this particular stock. And then if you guys, so I do a real stocks stream every single day at the open of the market. If you guys go to that Real Dash Stocks channel, I did do a video yesterday where we did some homework about Tesla, and we came up with 4 model book stocks for Tesla. A model book stock is a stock that looks exactly like it on a chart. Now, when you think about a chart is price action laid out in graphical form. Price action is market participation, buying and selling pressure. So when you find a chart that looks exactly the same, you can argue that the buying pressure is exactly the same as these prior stocks. And so all of these model book stocks I found went up 100%. And so I've also have Tesla going up 100%, and that'd be amazing. PVB asks a question. Can you please explain why you compare coins against BTC instead of USD? Isn't it better to look at USD to see how the coin is holding on its own? I do both. You are correct, which is why I start out with the top 20 USD. That's what we start off during the power hour every single day, 7 days a week. So if you guys don't have a routine in the morning that you do, I do it for you. And so we follow the BTC top 20 to see what the general market is thinking and feeling. And then we move into the BTC pairs. The reason to look at Bitcoin pairs is obviously if you're looking to gain more Bitcoin value, or if Bitcoin is stagnating, they can have tremendous runs. And when you have something that looks good versus USD and versus BTC, you can get very bullish on an altcoin, and hopefully have a good trade on your hands. So it's important to look at both, in my opinion. But when those two charts mesh, then you actually have something. So I think it's really, really good when that happens. Like, we've had lots of instances where BTC and USD charts look really good. Think about all the auto manufacturers. I think the ones based in China have a market edge that for US traders is a little hard to quantify due to the fact that we don't have any intimate knowledge of those companies. But from a charting perspective, I mean, they're obviously in vogue. You take a look at like an XPEV, which has really just had a tremendous run, from 23 up to 70. I think long term these things are really good. I mean, XPEV's making cars, NIO is making cars. NIO just will not give up its gains, which is very bullish. Even up here, it's not doing anything bad. I think a lot of these names are still good. I wouldn't be entering them now because they have already had substantial runs and have some distribution. I want to see that base out in a healthy fashion, and then I want to see them break out in a healthy fashion or look to enter on an early breakout signal. But it's great to watch them right now. They've all had tremendous moves. I don't want to... I want to play with a little bit of caution and take profits out of the market when necessary. Like I already exited a few NIO trades actually. A little prematurely, but whatever. It is what it is. You end up doubling your money a few times. It's not a bad thing. So, at the end of the day, our job is to increase our account. So if you have a great gain, consider when you're taking profits. It's not going to go on forever. There's a saying in the market, bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. So there you go. What kind of retrace would you expect in the automaker? 10 to 20%? I don't expect anything, Nicholas. I wait and see what happens. And if it only pulls back 10%, I get really bullish. That's it. I don't really expect anything. Not too often. Sometimes, Nicholas, you can. But from a general sense, I'm not going to say anything that I expect because I don't expect anything. Yeah, what up, JJ? How's everything going, JJ? Making some progress, buddy? So, yeah, I mean, take a Tesla or an NIO, for example. I mean, you can, take profits and then wait and see what happens. And then if it comes back and starts doing good things again. Guys, trading is a skill. It is something that needs to be learned. It is not something that you can always, put hard rules on. It's kind of like playing a sport, You go into the fundamentals of the sport and you learn the fundamentals of the sport, and then you learn what works for you. Where do you fit into this sport? I'm a big basketball fan, so am I a guard? Let's say you're 6'6", right? These days that could be a guard, that could be a forward, that could be almost anything but a center. So at 6'6", where do you fit in? Are you a three-point shooter? Or do you go to the hole? Are you a distributor? Like, what do you do? And whatever you do is fine. Whatever you do is fine. Just make sure you do it and do it well and understand what you do. And don't let other people tell you to do something that you're not comfortable doing, myself included. I may say something that looks really good or I get very excited about that isn't in your purview, isn't what you do. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. You got to do what you do. ACB. Yeah, the MJs are doing pretty decent, I gotta say. I'm not really mad at the MJs. Especially, with the Biden win, I think a lot of investors think we're going to see some marijuana positive legislation flow through, although I don't, in all honesty, ever since they kind of called the election for Biden, I have checked out. I'm like, I am done with politics. My life sucks when politics is involved, so I'm really kind of checking out from that perspective. So I don't know what's really going on there today, but All the MJs are doing good. You have the MJ ETF making a new high, or at least, I'm sorry, recent high. Lots of green days. I think this is phenomenal. I probably should have a longer term outlook for this, which we talked about down here, but you know, you can't be everywhere at once. But yeah, no, I think it's doing great. The market's doing good. I think crypto's doing good. Lemonade, yeah, you know what? It ended up forming a cup and handle, and I missed it right there. It did form that cup and handle. I missed it, and then boom, off to the races. Oh, it's pulling in today. So not too bad. A little bit more distribution than I would like to see. I'm actually not a huge fan. I got a quote on my phone. It was way expensive, so I don't know. Maybe it'll go, but I'm not going to lose any sleep if I miss that trade. Now this AMD trade, I've already screwed up a couple of times. So I don't know if I'm going to jump in on this one, but it's going pretty good too. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for joining me today. Bitcoin up towards 20K. So far, fairly stable up here. I'm not really mad at it. We have elevated volumes. The market's doing good. Try to stay with things, and please do consider joining the Power Hour if you enjoyed your time here today. We do it every single day, 7 days a week. I figure the market doesn't take a day off. Why should I? I'm going to be here anyway, so I may as well spend it with you guys. And yeah, if you guys have something you want to work on, if you want to learn what your edge is in the market, you know, I don't mind having nice conversations with you guys about what you do. Anytime we have good conversations, good questions, it helps everybody in the chat. No one's ever questioned, you know, oh, that was a dumb question. Like, no one's ever done that. And they know not to do that, because if it's a dumb question, I'll tell you it's a dumb question, but I've never heard a dumb question. All right, guys, I'm done talking. You guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully we'll see Bitcoin 20K stream soon. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy. Bye-bye.